Exactly.
I just remember having a conversation with a reverend I know, and he said to me how important it is to explain to each other in relationship what certain things mean to you, because we're coming from very distinct and different paths when we meet, and then we're at the starting point and we have to figure out, well, what's our life going to be? But we have some assumptions already based on what we've seen. So for example, he said he and his wife went in, they were going to go on an errand. He asked her to drive. He gave her the keys, and it became a huge argument. She didn't want to drive and he didn't want to drive. And they argued in the driveway for a long time. And then finally what it came down to was, for him, he was offering her the opportunity to take the lead, because what he'd always grown up with was that his father never made space for his mother to be an equal. Right? That was never communicated, though, to his wife, because they were pretty early in their marriage. Now, on the other side, she'd always had her father drive to take care of her mother. That was their love language, to your point, Tamika. And I think that if we can just make space to have conversations about meaning, right? So the same thing doesn't mean everything. I love to cook, so I don't mind it. That's not domesticating me necessarily and putting me into a corner, but it might feel that way for somebody else, right? I think depending on just having a comfort space for you to be able to explain yourself. And I guess that comes back to safety and trust and building that for each other, so that you can really communicate, especially when things are tense and hard, what we talked about before, when you're coming in with so much that you're carrying. Yeah, I've had, over the last 2 weeks, made space for a man I love to cry. And we didn't know that was going to come, but it needed to. And I think it's interesting because when we talk about what do we need, we've been, again, coping through so much trauma. I don't know how in touch we are with what we need, because I don't know how in touch we are with our true rage. I've gone through so many different emotions over the last 2 weeks alone, and rage keeps coming back, So in terms of just making space, I just try to give. I try to give of myself, or sometimes they just need the space, and I try to honor that as well. To your point, Janelle, just about being still, I also think having fun, because there's so much pain. And so maybe it's a game night, maybe it's just watching a really fun movie, maybe it's just cuddling up, or taking a walk through the park. I mean, there's not many places we can go but Target right now and the grocery store, but I'm in New York, so we haven't really opened anything. But, I think going for a bike ride, I found those to be healing. Being in the sun, the simplicity, in a way, COVID introduced simplicity. And so in that simplicity, there is a lot that comes up, but we've been so quiet for so long that we can actually start to hear ourselves and each other. So for me, it's just been about just being in those moments and being present.